Dear Aunt Lucy, we had a wonderful time in the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg. Mr. Gruber appointed me official photographer for his book, and he even had a few professional tips.
You tried to get the Royal Guard in the shot as well, Mr. Brown.
That's an excellent idea, Mr. Gruber. Thank you.
How I dread these boring affairs, dear. Same old people, same old everything.
Yes, dear, but it's our duty.
Duty. Oh.
Look who it is, Mr. Brown. The Grand Duke and Duchess. If you hurry, you can get a photograph.
You can count on me, Mr. Gruber. My hat!
I've never seen so many royal dignitaries. I can hardly count the counts. There's a prince and 2 baronesses, 3 barons, 1 Mr. Brown and a... Mr. Brown?
Shall I hold this for you, sir, while you attend the banquet?
A banquet? What a good idea. I am rather hungry. Thank you.
Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown!
I'm sorry, sir. The public is not allowed in for visits today. This is a private banquet.
That was my friend, Mr. Brown.
Uh-huh. And I'm Queen Isabella of Spain. Now, off you go. Go on. Now. Go on.
I must rescue Mr. Brown before he gets into any trouble.
His Royal Highness Prince Wilhelm XIV of Upper and Lower Moldavia.
Or is it my first cousin twice removed? Anyway, she just acquired a new horse. I believe you dined together at last week's dinner party.
I do not dine with horses, Baroness.
My cousin, Your Grace. You dined with my cousin.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? The horse would have been more fun.
Mr. Paddington Brown
From darkest Peru.
of Darkest Peru.
Finally, a new face. How delightful.
Psst, Mr. Brown, come back. Oh,
You again.
Do join us, sir.
Thank you very much.
Darkest Peru, eh? How interesting.
I had a polo pony from Peru once. Do you play polo, Mr.
Brown. No, I prefer tiddlywinks.
Brown? Oh, of course. You must be related to the Gustavo Browns of Chuquibamba. My maternal uncle was a dear friend of your great-grandfather, I believe. Oh,
Tell me,
was it
Mr.
my
Brown,
maternal
a dinner party is
great-grandmother?
boring in Darkest Peru, too?
Not at all. In the Home for Retired Bears, they always play games. It helps the food go down.
Games! An excellent idea! Why didn't I think of it before?
I wish my friend Mr. Gruber was here. He knows all sorts of games.
She might be what you call a cowgirl.
Mr. Brown, over here.
Do tell us, Mr. Brown, what's the weather like in Darkest Peru?
Oh, it's very hot, hot.
Is that so? How very interesting. My third cousin twice removed, or is it my second cousin thrice removed? Anyway, she told me that in the summertime it's quite warm, and in the wintertime it's quite cool. And no, not hot. Cool and rainy. Doesn't sound very pleasant at all. Not my cup. I'm reminded of the time they played croquet at the summer estate.
Oh, dear.
You again. Thought you'd given me the slip.
Certainly not. I'm merely... Oh, look. Isn't that the Queen of Ruritania over there?
Huh? Where? Hey! Stop! Stop!
Doubtful and Arctica. But undaunted, the player quickly rode up. That's when the barge passed by with all those goats on it. I'm sure you've heard this story before.
Hot potato! Why, I haven't played that since I was a boy. Now it's my turn to choose a game. Come along, everybody. How I loves the musical thrones.
Oh!
it.
Oh, how kind.
Now, I know this looks suspicious, but I have a perfectly good explanation, you see.
You're right, Baroness. Oranges are easier to balance on your nose than bananas. Look, there's my friend, Mr. Gruber. And he's playing hide and seek with the guard. Everyone in Luxembourg certainly likes to play games. How about a game of hide and seek, everyone?
Come out, come out. Come out, come out.
Wherever you are. Got you! Oh, I beg your pardon. I was looking for an intruder. And I think I found him. Now I've got you. And this time you're not getting away. Grace, oh, forgive me. I had no idea it was you, sire.
What is the meaning of this?
I'm afraid this is all my fault, sire.
This is my friend, Mr. Gruber.
That's the intruder.
Nonsense. Any friend of Mr. Brown is a friend of ours. May I present the Baroness?
Mr. Gruber, is it? Are you related to the Fitzbuela Grubers of East Slovenia by any chance? My grandmama was a Fitzbuela Gruber. Now that would make us second cousins thrice removed. Now tell me, what has happened to Aunt Beatrice?
I know you'd love Luxembourg, Aunt Lucy. The people are so friendly. I hope you like the photos. The Grand Duke and Duchess did.
Trust Paddington to come out on top. When he's in charge, who knows how things will develop.
Come on, Lucy. The game is starting. He's at it again. Oh. Won't find any treasure in there, Paddington. The only carrots in this stew are the kind you eat.
Paddington, your battery will run out if you keep that thing on all the time.
I'll be careful, Mrs. Brown, but it's a special long-life one.
More's the pity.
Mr. Brown's treasure seeker was most exciting. It even had a book of instructions explaining about the different beeping noises it made when it found something. Huh? Getting closer. Aha!
Why, Paddington, you haven't made your bed.
I did, Mrs. Brown, but I'm afraid it got unmade again. I was counting my Peruvian centavos last night, and I lost one. Aunt Lucy would have been most upset. She gave them to me in case I ever had an emergency.
Thank goodness you found it then. You must take care of them in future.
I shall, Mrs. Brown. I always keep them polished. I don't spend them.
Do you realise it's the first time we've had peace and quiet in weeks? I do hope Paddington is finally tired of his treasure seeker. Paddington? Paddington! I've lost my wedding ring. Can you see if it's fallen on the ground?
I shall, Mrs. Brown.
Dear, Henry will be most upset when he hears. I do so treasure that ring.
My Peruvian centavos. They've disappeared.
Mercy me. What is going on? First your wedding ring and now Paddington centavos.
Don't worry, Mrs. Bird. I'll find them with my treasure seeker.
What you'll need is perseverance if you expect to find anything with that thing.
Bears are good at perseverance, Mrs. Bird. Aha! This is the spot. According to the instruction book, all you need is luck when looking for things. And since horseshoes are lucky...
Ouch!
Oh.
Bear, was that you? What do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry, Mr. Curry. I didn't know you were spying on me. I'm just looking for gold.
Gold? Did you say gold? What kind of gold?
Peruvian centavos, gold rings.
Why don't I help you, Bear? Let's say finders keepers, shall we?
Finders keepers.
Standard procedure when looking for treasure, Bear.
Is it there?
No, not a sign.
That's funny. I do believe Mr. Curry is helping Paddington look for his centavos.
Mr. Curry doesn't know the meaning of the word help. He's after something.
Ah, gold indeed. The garden's full of scraps of old metal.
Perhaps we should look where the horseshoe landed.
You're absolutely right, Bear. Come along. You carry on digging for a while, Bear. I have to stretch my legs. I have a good feeling about this hole. Bear? Why aren't you digging?
I don't think there's anything in this hole, Mr. Curry.
Nonsense, Bear. Try it again. Start digging, Bear.
Oh dear. I think we've been getting signals from your boot studs, Mr. Curry. That's why it always sounded as if the treasure was under your feet.
Bear! Come back here. I'll give you buried treasure.
Did you dig all these holes, Paddington?
Mr. Curry dug most of them, Mr. Brown.
That bear of yours tricked me into it.
Well, I'm delighted. This flower bed needed a good turning over. Thank you both.
You're welcome, Mr. Brown.
What's all this, Bear?
You'll find us keepers, Mr. Curry.
Now listen here, Bear. I've had just about enough of your nonsense for one day when... Shoe-thieving scavenger, go away!
Mr. Curry had given me an idea. And when I looked in my bird book, it said that magpies were notorious for stealing shiny objects.
Where are you going, Paddington?
I'm perseverancing, Mrs. Brown.
What on earth is Paddington up to?
Henry, I have a confession to make. It's about my wedding ring.
Oh! It was the moment of truth. The missing treasure!
It belongs to me, Bear. You're on my side of the fence.
But you said finders keepers was standard procedure, Mr. Curry. Word of my successful treasure hunt spread like wildfire. The entire neighborhood showed up. The magpie had been stealing shiny objects from everyone. Gold watch, anyone?
That's mine. I can't believe it.
An earring?
Oh, the earring my mother gave me.
And the last thing, a diamond tie clip.
Mine, Bear.
It's inscribed. It says,
That's fine, Bear. Don't read that.
"To my little Snookum Wookums." I didn't know Snookum Wookums was your first name, Mr. Curry.
Ah,
I'm sorry, Mr. Magpie. But here, I think marmalade is worth its weight in gold. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Everyone I know thinks it's a very good idea. Well, almost everyone.
reduce, reuse, recycle. Ah! Getting rid of this lot's going to cost me a fortune. Ouch! Bear!
Good morning, Mr. Curry.
What are you doing, Bear?
It's something I picked up in India.
India?
These should come in handy.
What are you talking about?
It's an idea I got there while collecting stories for Mr. Gruber's book. If I remember correctly, it all started with a very long bus ride.
I'm beginning to wish we'd taken a taxi, Mr. Brown.
I'm beginning to wish I hadn't eaten quite so much breakfast, Mr. Gruber.
hope the rock gardens at Chandigarh are worth seeing.
There's nowhere on Earth quite like it. I'm counting on you to take some good photographs.
You can rely on me, Mr. Gruber. I wonder when we'll get there. Excuse me, please. Pardon? Pardon? Excuse me, can you tell me how much further it is to... Oh! Chandigarh!
Oh, pardon me. Excuse me, please.
Wait! You've still got Mr. Gruber! Until Mr. Gruber finds his way back, I better get started taking the photographs. Huh? I wonder what Mr. Gruber would like pictures of. You can't see the gardens for tourists. Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh, my! No wonder he's stone deaf. He is stone. This must be what Mr. Gruber wanted me to photograph. The sculptures. Could you lean to your right a bit? It's like talking to a brick wall. Hold it there. That's perfect. Don't move.
Aren't the sculptures wonderful? And to think they are all made from things people throw away.
Bob, look! The sculpture with the funny hat is taking a picture of the others.
Funny hat? I'll have you know my uncle gave me this. It was handed down.
The statue has come to life!
An evil demon!
I'm not an evil demon. I'm a bear from darkest Peru.
A bear statue is coming alive! He is chasing us!
What is this nonsense? The bear statue is not alive. It's made of tin, metal, plastic and clay. Someone is undoubtedly playing a prank. I will telephone the authorities.
Mr. Gruber's right. The rock garden at Chandigarh is like nowhere else. That's a very colourful peacock sculpture. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was real. Oh, look at all that rubbish. I don't know what Mrs. Bird would say. Spoiling a beautiful park like this. While I wait for Mr. Gruber, I think I'll do a little tidying up. Chandigarh!
I have it on good authority. Some practical joker in a bear suit is scaring all the people.
Oh, dear, Mr. Brown.
Phew.
Check it out, honey. Artists at work. Get over there for a photo. You don't mind, do you, buddy? You know, back home, this would be just another junkyard. How you guys built this great place entirely out of garbage is beyond me.
Garbage?
You know what I mean. Making all these sculptures out of recycled trash like you do. Oh, it's great.
Mr. Brown, what are you up to?
Mr. Gruber, thank goodness you're here. I thought I was helping out, but now I'm not sure.
Don't worry, Mr. Brown. We'll soon put things right again.
Not only did Mr. Gruber show me how to put things right, with his help, we even went one better.
Excellent work, Mr. Brown. I'd say we've made a lasting impression.
Are you sure about the design, Mr. Gruber? It looks oddly familiar.
Oh, now you mention it, who do we know with a jaw like that? I must say he looks very bad-tempered.
Mr. Curry!
A statue? Of me? You made a statue of me?
Entirely out of rubbish. It wasn't difficult once we found an old car tire for your jaw.
And people from all over the world pay good money to come and see it?
Oh, yes, Mr. Curry. There was a big crowd when we left.
I'd like to support your recycling project, Bear. So I'm going to let you build a statue of me in my front garden. I'll even donate the rubbish.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Curry. Perhaps your front garden will become as famous as the rock garden in Chandigarh.
I'm counting on it, Bear. I'm off to take a bath, and I want that statue finished when I'm done. Some days just fall into place. My rubbish taken care of for free, and a statue of myself into the bargain. I wonder how much I can charge people to look at it. Bear! What have you done, Bear?
I'm almost finished, Mr. Curry, and I must say the resemblance is uncanny.
Uncanny? How about moving this thing?
Oh, don't worry about that, Mr. Curry. I used Mr. Brown's quick-drying cement. Once it dries, it's not going anywhere. It's a pity you've already had your bath, Mr. Curry. Hold fast, sworn enemy of mine.
Whoops! Paddington, what is going on?
I've auditioned for the Shakespeare in the Park amateur play, Mrs. Bird. We're doing Romeo and Juliet. I hope my role requires lots of fencing.
Well, why don't you play the part of the helpful bear and do some shopping for me instead?
Yes? It's Mr. Pig, the play's director. Romeo? Well, that's wonderful.
What part have I got?
And Deirdre? Juliet? You don't say. Thank you.
Juliet!
Congratulations, Mr. Price. Fancy you playing Romeo.
It's my lucky day, especially as Deirdre's playing Juliet.
Little old me, Juliet. Whoops! Romeo! Oh, Romeo! Wouldst thou be a dear and bring over the mop and pail?
I must admit, I'm a bit smitten by my Juliet. Coming, Deirdre!
Romeo and Juliet is the greatest love story of all time. Now we have 3 weeks before opening night, so let's take out our scripts and get started.
Excuse me, Mr. Pick. I haven't been told what part I'll be playing.
Yes, Paddington Brown. You'll be playing the friar. Shouldn't be too difficult. There's only 3 lines.
3 lines? But I was hoping I'd be doing some fencing. I've been practicing for days.
I'm afraid not, but I do need someone to do the sound effects. Follow me. Knock the coconuts together for horses' hooves. Rattle the metal sheet for thunder. Blow in this for bird chirps.
You mean you want me to make noises? Like this?
Yes, well, remember, practice does make perfect.
Henry, wake up. There's a terrible storm raging.
That's funny. It was perfectly calm when we went to bed.
Hello. Mr. Pick says practice makes perfect.
Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till I saw you, Deirdre. Actually, I meant Juliet.
Hold it! You are Romeo, and she is Juliet. Please try to remember that. Now, the dance.
My lips, 2 blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Ow! Ouch! Ow! Ow!
I'm sorry. I'm afraid it's a bit difficult with paws.
I've made a complete fool of myself in front of Deirdre. Perhaps I'd better drop out of the play before something dangerous happens.
I think you're a wonderful actor, Mr. Price. I especially liked it when you stepped on Deirdre's foot. It looks so real.
That's the trouble. It was real. Deirdre must think I'm a complete idiot.
My niece is in the play's chorus. I hear Harold's not doing so well.
He might be a bit clumsy, but he's so cute when his ears get all red. He really is my Romeo.
Oh, thank goodness the play opens tonight. Perhaps we'll get a full night's sleep for a change.
Deirdre, I want to wish you luck for tonight and apologise for everything. Ouch!
Everyone, looks like we've got a full house. Harold, what have you done?
Ow.
Now look what I've done. It's no good. When I get near Deirdre, I just go to pieces.
I think she feels the same way about you. I heard her tell a lady that...
She said that?
Really?
Her I love now doth grace for grace and love allow.
Oh, she knew well. Thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waverer, come go with me.
It was very good. But I do wish he'd practice his lines at night and his sound effects during the day.
Turn your household's rancour to pure love.
He's forgotten his lines. Somebody do something to cover him.
I'll help, Mr. Pick.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?
I am here, Deirdre. I mean, Juliet. I'm so sorry, Deirdre. It's just that I'm very fond of you and I'm just out of sorts with nerves.
What's this? They like it.
I think they're calling for you, Mr. Pick. That wasn't me this time.
Here we are at Wimbledon, Mr. Brown, the most famous tennis tournament in the world. And it's our job to report on it for my book, The World and Its Wonders.
Do you think we'll get a seat?
Everything has been arranged. Ah, here comes Mr. Townsend to show us around.
Welcome to Wimbledon, Mr. Gruber. This must be the young friend you were telling me about. I hope you like tennis.
Bears like anything new.
Wonderful. Who knows? We may find ourselves in need of a ball bear. Follow me.
A ball bear? Fancy that.
Our first stop is the players' locker room. This is where the players get ready for their matches. Tennis is a sport that requires a great deal of mental preparation. That's Todd Davis, the #1 player in the world.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Davis.
We'd better move on.
What are you doing? Oh, those are my rackets.
But why do you need so many?
Who let you in here anyway? Townsend!
My apologies, Todd. It won't happen again. Mr. Brown, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to wait in the hall.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Oh, cut! Left, cut! I'm Sergeant Basham, the commander of this troop. What's happened to your uniform?
Mr. Townsend hasn't given me one. He did say you might be in need of a ball bear.
A ball bear? This is the end of civilization as we know it. Well, don't expect any special treatment from me.
Of course not, Mr. Basham.
Very well. Forward! March! Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
I wonder where Mr. Brown is.
I'm sure he's already gone to our seats. The match is about to begin.
What a final day here at Wimbledon, and must say we're very much looking forward to this match.
Look,
between,
the match is about to
American
begin.
All for Terreeb, Todd Davis.
I wonder if we'll see
reliable
Paddington.
Where do I go?
You? You get the best spot in the house.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basham.
His seat's empty. Now, where could he be?
Oh!
Bjorn Benson, great reputation.
What's Paddington doing in the umpire's seat?
Mr. Basham was right. What a wonderful view. Oh dear, is this your seat? I'm afraid that Mr. Basham must have got it wrong. My seat has to be around here somewhere. Ah, that must be it. Oh, how nice. I am feeling a bit thirsty.
Look where he's got to now. You don't think he's going to play, do you?
Ah, what are you doing? That's my seat, and that's my juice!
It is? Oh, I'm sorry. Here you are.
I told you, this is your position. Now stay put.
Do you see him?
I can't believe my eyes.
Oh. Well, there's nothing we can do now. We can't stop the game. We'll just have to see what happens.
But Mr. Basham told me to stay put. Oh, hello, Mr. Basham.
Don't hello me, Bear. Get out there and get that ball.
Hurry up, will ya?
That wasn't very polite. Excuse me. I don't know much about tennis, but it seems to me the players might have an easier time if that net wasn't in the way.
Hello? That ball was out by a mile. What's the matter? Have you gone blind? Oh, I see. Too busy chatting with that bear, are we?
Good old Paddington.
Now listen here, you. I've had it. Enough already. Now what are you doing?
I'm looking for a photograph of my Aunt Lucy. You know, you really shouldn't be so rude, because my Aunt Lucy always says, it isn't whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
My Aunt Mary used to say that too. I guess I forgot. I behaved very badly. Can you forgive me?
Of course. My Aunt Lucy also says, to err is human, to forgive is bear-like. best things about travelling with Mr. Gruber collecting stories for his book The World and Its Wonders is staying in hotels. And one of the best things about hotels is being able to watch television in bed.
This pod. I've never seen anything like it before. It's out of this world.
That's because it was left by the mothership of an alien race from Alpha Centauri.
It was horrible! Horrible!
It is horrible. Horrible.
Alien flying saucers! They're coming to get us! To take us away in their pods!
And then the aliens carried the poor people away in a space pod.
It's no wonder you had nightmares, Mr. Brown. But don't forget, it was only a movie.
Don't you believe in aliens, Mr. Gruber? It would make a very good chapter for your book if we saw a real one.
Many people claim to have experienced close encounters with aliens, but such stories are usually more fancy than fact. What?
Mr. Gruber, over there, a flying saucer.
What?
Over there. It's gone. It must have dematerialized, like they did in the movie.
Perhaps you shouldn't watch any more late-night movies until we reach our next destination, Mr. Brown.
If there's one flying saucer about, there are probably others. Bigger ones full of... aliens! I was right after all. I must tell Mr. Gruber. Mr. Gruber! Mr. Gruber!
Mr. Brown, what is it? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Not a ghost, Mr. Gruber. Something even worse. Real aliens!
Have you been watching television again?
I saw them with my own eyes. Come on, we must be on the lookout for more.
I think the receptionist is getting curious, Mr. Brown. How long do you plan to wait here?
As long as it takes, Mr. Gruber. I brought extra film, and we should be careful to stay out of sight. Oh, here. You can't deny what you see with your own eyes.
I'm afraid I can't see anything without my glasses, Mr. Brown. Where are they?
They're gone. Again.
Come on, Mr. Brown. I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you think you saw. But I think you should understand once and for all that there is no such thing as aliens. Scientific data repudiates any evidence of extraterrestrial life. How do you do?
Huh? They've abducted Mr. Gruber!
Can I help you, sir?
I want to report an alien abduction.
Very droll, sir. Would there be anything else?
Anything else? I should have thought being abducted by aliens was quite enough. Mrs. Bird is right. If you want something done, do it yourself. Hold on, Mr. Gruber, wherever you are.
Astounding. Mr. Brown was seeing aliens.
What floor?
You don't sound like aliens.
We're not. We're here for the science fiction convention at the conference center.
It's so far out that you fell for our costumes. Long life and prosperity.
It's no wonder Mr. Brown is confused. I think I'd better find him before he jumps to any more wrong conclusions.
Mind there, okay?
An alien pod!
We gotta refill this space pod with 3 giveaways and get it back to the convention as fast as possible.
The aliens must be planning to transport Mr. Gruber back to Alpha Centauri in that space pod. I don't have much time. Room service.
We didn't order room service.
Don't worry, Mr. Gruber. I'll soon have you out of there. It's all right, Mr. Gruber. I won't let the aliens scramble your brains.
Stop that door! He's stealing our giveaways!
Oh.
Mr. Brown, hold on.
Hang on, Mr. Gruber. We're under alien attack. Ah! Aliens! Everywhere!
Hey, you! Get back that space pod!
I'm not letting you take Mr. Gruber! Set phasers on stun! No power! And these aliens want to rule the universe!
Get him!
They're getting ready to leave! But I'll save you, Mr. Gruber!
Great costume, man. What an awesome start to the science fiction convention.
Convention?
There you are, Mr. Brown. Now do you understand?
Contact has been established with the alien forces, Mr. Gruber. Wish Mrs. Bird long life and prosperity and tell her not to wait up. I'll be back home as soon as they let me down. Dear Aunt Lucy, my latest adventure came about all because I'd managed to upset my neighbour. Again.
You started a fire in Mr. Curry's kitchen?
It was an accident, but being Mr. Curry, he blamed it all on me. What's happening, Mr. Gruber?
The police have arrested that man. They must believe he's done something wrong.
Like accidentally starting a fire in someone's kitchen?
Oh, I don't think the police will arrest you without proof, Mr. Brown. In this country, you're considered innocent until proven guilty by a court of law.
I am? Good. I shall have to tell Mr. Curry that. What's a court of law, Mr. Gruber? And that's how I ended up visiting a law court.
Excuse me, sir. Would you mind putting your suitcase through the scanner?
I hope it comes out the other side.
Don't worry, sir. We've never lost one yet.
What do you do if you find something suspicious?
If need be, we blow it up with that. May I ask you what the small square object is?
It's a marmalade sandwich. You can see the chunks on the X-ray.
Well, sir, I'm afraid we don't allow food in court. I must ask you to put it in this bag while you're on the premises.
An important thing, Mr. Brown, is that the courts are always open to the public. For example, I don't believe it.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, that's me.
Well, come along then. The court's ready for you.
I didn't want to break the no food in court policy.
There we go. Ready to see a little justice at work, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown?
Let us begin. Good morning. I'm Cloudsworthy, the prosecuting counsel. Please take the stand.
Thank you very much. I wasn't sure why Mr. Cloudsworthy wanted me to stand in a box, but it did have the best view in the room.
Mr. Brown, do you swear to...
Oh, no. I never swear. It's rude.
No, that's not what I meant. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Of course. Aunt Lucy taught me never to tell lies.
Silence! Who is this Aunt Lucy? And why isn't she listed as a witness?
I can't find any mention of her, my lad.
So you don't plan to call her?
I don't think she'd hear you even if you did. Aunt Lucy's in Peru.
Peru? With respect, my lad, but I don't think Aunt Lucy is very important.
Not important. Aunt Lucy is very important. You should ask Mrs. Bird.
Mrs. Bird?
Really, Mr. Cloudsworthy, you'll have to do a better job keeping track of your witnesses. Call Mrs. Bird.
Calling Mrs. Bird.
I don't think Mrs. Bird will hear you either. She's out shopping.
Mrs. Bird's out shopping? Really, this is becoming intolerable. Enough! I'll deal with the missing witnesses later. But right now, perhaps Mr. Cloudsworthy can present what's left of his case.
Yes, my lad. In the case against Mr. Brown and his neighbour, Mr. Murray...
Curry.
Murray? It says so right here.
I'm sure it does, but my neighbour's name is Mr. Curry.
Hold it. Careful now. Sit. Sit. Suspicious package on bench outside court 3. Request immediate assistance. Not me, you twit!
All in all, I was very impressed at how fast the courts had taken charge of Mr. Curry's kitchen case. And then he accused me of setting fire to his feather duster deliberately, but it was just an accident.
A feather duster? Upon my soul, what is this court coming to?
I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for Mr. Mr. Curry's outrageous behaviour, my lad.
This is an emergency. Please evacuate the premises. Remain calm.
Mr. Brown? Yes, I'm Mr. Brown.
I just saw a Mr. Brown in court for a case against his neighbour.
Oh, no. The Mr. Brown I'm looking for wasn't here to go to court. You must be talking about another Mr. Brown.
Mr. Gruber.
Mr. Brown. Yes? I'm Mr. Brown, and I'm here for a case against my neighbour, Mr. Murray.
Murray here. Who's calling? You! If you hadn't built that fence and cut off my access to the river, none of this would have happened.
Well, I wouldn't have had to build that fence if your dog had stopped misbehaving in my garden.
You could loosen a slat in the fence. That's what Mr. Curry and I did. And now we can both get through easily.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Good work. Well, whatever the confusion, I'm glad it's all cleared up. Now we just have that bomb to worry about.
That was my marmalade sandwich you've just blown up.
Your marmalade sandwich?
I left it outside the courtroom.
I don't wonder you're upset. This is very good marmalade.
It's some of Mrs. Bird's special.
Mrs. Bird? Isn't she the witness who's out doing her shopping? This is a very serious offence, you know.
Mr. Gruber says that in an English court of law, you're innocent until you're proven guilty.
True, Mr. Brown. Very true.
Now that's 51, 52, 53 feet, 54, 55, 56, 62, 63, 60...
What are you up to, Bear?
I was just doing some measuring, Mr. Curry. I found this in a corner of the attic. It's a map of the Browns and your garden.
A survey map, eh?
Yes. I measured the Browns' garden as 64 feet across, but the map says it should only be 60 feet.
I see. I knew it. I knew it!
Oh, hello, Mr. Curry.
This survey map confirms my long-held suspicion that The dividing fence is in the wrong place. It's been put 4 feet inside my property, for which I shall now be charging £200 a month rent.
But hold on. It's always been like that, ever since your grandfather built it.
Ah, yes, Grandpa Curry, a kinder and more generous man you couldn't hope to meet.
£200 a month? For a bit of old garden?
Ah, there's this too. A prorated compound interest bill for the years of unlawful appropriation of property totaling £92,465 and 12 pence.
I could let you have the 12 pence, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Curry, why don't you go home, have a...
That's your attitude, is it? Well, we'll see about that. Ha!
Uh-oh.
Right. That's 4 feet. Since Mr. Brown won't pay me rent, I shall be occupying my rightful territory.
Mr. Brown, Mr. Curry's doing something in your garden.
He's playing a silly little game, Paddington. Just ignore him.
I'll try, but he's rather hard to ignore. Especially when he's about to cut down your prize rose bushes.
What?
Private property.
You can't cut my roses.
And why not? They're on my side. Ow!
Those are my garden shears. Where did you get them?
From the tool shed, of course, which is also on my side. Oh, and I got the lawn furniture from the garage. Now, since only half of it is on my property, I'll allow you to park the car here, but I'll need a set of keys.
That does it, Curry. I'm getting my solicitor.
By all means, waste your money on solicitors. Thanks to that bear, I've got all the proof I need. Ow!
I wish I'd never found that map.
Help me out!
I think it's time I saw Mr. Gruber. He might know what to do.
I don't understand. Why would Mr. Curry's grandfather build the fence 4 feet onto his own property?
Mr. Curry did say his grandfather was a generous man.
Excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing, but I delivered milk to Windsor Gardens when I was a lad.
You clumsy boy! Look, you've made a terrible mess. You either clean this up, or I'll expect free milk and cream for a year.
Oh, but old man Curry was neither kind nor generous. And if he had anything to do with building a fence, I suggest you go to the town hall and look at the official survey.
Ah, Windsor Gardens. I used to play there when I was a girl. A lovely street. Except there was one house with a most disagreeable man. A Mr. Curry, I believe.
Some things never change. Ah, that's it. May I have a copy of this, please?
Why, of course, dear.
He's gone too far this time. Barbed wire, cutting my roses, stealing my tools. He even wants my car keys. Ow! Oh, what the...
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Curry, I'm Mr. Jones, Mr. Brown's solicitor. I'll have to ask you to suspend work.
No, he's not Mr. Curry. He's Paddington, and he's... Paddington? What are you doing?
Well, I decided the only way to stop all the fighting was for me to move the fence once and for all.
Excellent survey, Mr. Paddington.
Oh, thank you.
That's exactly where the fence should be.
But that's on Mr. Curry's side.
Yes, I thought that odd too, but I triple-checked all my measurements.
And where did this map come from?
I got it from the town hall.
You mean all these years Mr. Curry has actually had 4 feet of our garden? His grandfather must have changed the map you found in the attic to take some of our land. Oh, this calls for a little celebration.
Stop that incessant racket! I can't hear myself think.
Mr. Curry, you're just in time for cake.
You've moved my barbed wire. Just what are you up to? Get off my property! Shoo! Shoo!
Your property? I'm afraid that according to the official survey map, this is our property.
Well, what about this map?
Yes, what about this map? It doesn't seem to match the official town map. Perhaps your grandfather made some modifications.
Impossible! A kinder, more
Generous man, yes, yes, especially to himself.
Look, Mr. Curry, why don't we just leave the fence where it is and forget this map nonsense ever happened?
You mean, though this is your property, you won't be charging me rent?
It's more important to be good neighbours than it is to fight. I expect you may be wondering what I'm doing on a bus, sandwiched into my seat. Well, if you think I look uncomfortable, you should see Mr. Gruber.
Give me the ball! Heads up!
Oh, dear.
We're on what's known as a mystery tour, because nobody knows where we're going until we get there. But if you ask me, the mystery is how they managed to cram so many people onto one bus.
Now, Mr. Brown, while I get the tickets, why don't you look for a souvenir?
That's a very good idea, Mr. Gruber. I may get a postcard to send to Aunt Lucy. May I have 2 postcards, please? Excuse me? I hope she's all right. She's either been struck dumb, or she's having what Mrs. Bird would call a funny turn. In fact, I don't like to admit it, but her hard stare is even stronger than Aunt Lucy's.
Don't worry, Mr. Brown. She's a dummy.
It's very nice of you to stick up for me, Mr. Gruber, but she may not be able to help it.
That's certainly true, Mr. Brown. You see, she's made of wax. This is a waxwork museum, and it's one of the tricks they play on visitors.
This one looks very lifelike, too.
Oh, hey!
Wait for me, Mr. Gruber!
Oh, not again. Look, Tom, more vandalism.
Jude, same as the others. Whoever is responsible is getting more daring, doing it right under our noses.
We are now entering the medieval display. A fantasy world of brave knights, damsels in distress, fierce dragons, and bears gorging themselves.
Mr. Brown!
Now, over on our left is the French Revolution display.
These are much better than the postcard lady. At least they move. They'll be saying hello next.
And here we have a fascinating...
Hey, you! What's going on here?
I've got to tell Mr. Gruber what's happened.
Stop that bear! Come back here!
No one can say this tour isn't mysterious. It would just be nice if I could see a bit more of it. On the other hand... oh dear.
Is
usually more careful. At least he tries to be.
Oh dear, look, Ivanhoe's a complete mess. It's just problem upon problem.
But he is also rather fond of marmalade sandwiches.
We've had a number of these accidents of late. Displays toppled, fingers chewed off our wax dummies.
Oh, Mr. Brown would never eat wax. At least, not intentionally.
Well then, if he's nothing to hide, where is he?
At least there's no damage to the Goldilocks and the Three Bears display.
Being a bear does have its advantages, but I need Mr. Gruber's help. He's very good at setting everything right. Mr. Gruber? I'm glad you're not real. Otherwise, I might get sent to the tower.
What's going on in here? This is terrible. If this keeps up, all our displays will be ruined. I remember every wax figure I've made for this museum, but I don't remember you.
You made the Queen? She's very good.
Thank you. My name is Tom Waverley. I've been working here for 20 years.
My name is Paddington Brown. I've been visiting here for about 20 minutes.
Then you can't be the one who's been knocking over displays and chewing up the wax dummies for the past few weeks.
Oh, no. But I think there's a ghost loose in the museum. It makes a strange chattering sound.
A chattering sound, you say?
Mr. Brown!
There's our culprit.
This bear is innocent.
How do you know?
I've spent 20 years of my life making faces. Good ones, bad ones, sneaky ones. So I should recognize an honest face when I see one, even beneath those whiskers.
Then who is responsible? Oh! What the?
Most unusual.
I know. This is our ghost.
That squirrel must have been trapped in the museum for weeks. He's the one who's been nibbling the figures. He's the one who knocked over the displays. He's the one...
Who melted the bogman's face?
No, I'm sorry. That was me.
Brilliant! It's even scarier now than it used to be. You've made a grand addition to the Chamber of Horrors. I must find a way to repay you.
Well, Mr. Brown, it's not every day you get to solve a real mystery on a mystery tour.
And it isn't every day you can see yourself doing it.
And the suspect you must intercept is a very cunning enemy spy. This spy is to pick up a suitcase containing a top-secret computer disk at this address. You will do the switch with this suitcase. Here's a photo of him. He's short, bearded, and, according to our contact, he's likely to be wearing a red hat and a blue coat.
I've never seen a flashing light in a kitchen before, Mr. Brown.
Henry, why don't you call the electrician?
His rates are too high. Besides, I'll have this done in a flash.
A flash is right.
Electricity is very dangerous, dear. You don't want to start a fire.
The situation is under control.
Really, dear, we can have an electrician here first thing tomorrow to fix the switch.
That'll cost a fortune. No, I'll pick up a new switch at the electrical shop and repair it myself. Here's our man. Red hat, blue coat.
Looks like he's going in that newspaper shop. As soon as he does, we make our move. The chief wasn't exaggerating when he said he'd have a beard.
He must have had a shave just before this photograph was taken.
Shh! Here's the drop-off man. Bluebird 1 taking flight.
Bluebird 2 in surveillance mode.
Mission compromise. 2 enemy agents. Plan B. Intercept the interceptors. You're here for the switch?
No, I'm here for a magazine for Mrs. Bird. Mr. Brown is picking up the switch at the electrical shop.
Let me get this straight. Someone called Mr. Brown is doing the switch? The original plan was I would do the switch.
Oh, you're the electrician. Mr. Brown says your rates are too high, so the original plan was changed.
The rates are already decided. I've been ordered to do the switch.
I shouldn't bother. Mr. Brown's going to do the switch himself.
No one told me. The original plan has to go forward.
The exchange has been made. Bluebird 2, go into operational mode.
Roger, and out.
Taxi! Taxi! Taxi!
Here he comes.
Yes, Bluebird 1. Yes, exchange was accomplished. Like taking candy from a baby.
Yeah, on suspect's tail heading east. I'll stay close.
Bluebird 1, we've been duped. He slipped us an empty suitcase. Give me your coordinates. We've got to get the right suitcase.
What is this? Where is the disc? Looks like I've been impersonated by a bear.
Aunt Lucy at the home for retired bears in Lima, Peru. That must be their foreign contact. And who's this Paddington then? A double agent? If you ask me, number 32 Windsor Gardens is due for a visit. I will get that disc.
But Mr. Brown didn't say he'd called the electrician.
Well, I ran into the electrician at the newspaper shop, and he said he was coming over to do the switch.
Electrician, eh? That can be arranged.
They're expecting an electrician.
One electrician coming up.
It's this one here. Oh, someone else at the door.
You're not the electrician who was going to do the switch.
The switch? Oh, yes. The regular electrician had a sudden illness.
Oh, my. Another electrician.
He must be feeling better. Mr. Brown won't like having to pay for 2 electricians.
I forgot something in the truck.
There's already an electrician here. At least there was.
He went out of the window, Mrs. Bird.
I'm home. I've got the new switch.
I must have the wrong house.
Oh, Mrs. Bird, I almost forgot. Your magazine.
Why, thank you, Paddington.
Impossible! I've been duped! Perhaps if I visit their foreign contact in Peru, alias Aunt Lucy.
Good work, gentlemen. A job well done. Mission accomplished.
So there were 3 electricians?
The one you saw, the one who jumped out of the window, and there was another one at the newspaper shop who was going to come round.
Very peculiar. I didn't even call one.
Perhaps you need an electrician after all, Mr. Brown.
I've never seen anything like it, Henry.
It looks rather complicated.
Can we try it?
What is it?
It's the Prismacolor 400, the latest piece of technology for taking moving pictures.
Then I think it's broken, Mr. Brown. No one's moving.
No, Paddington. I mean, it takes movies, like you see on television.
It takes moving pictures, Mr. Gruber. And Mr. Brown said if I promise not to get marmalade all over the lens, he'll let me have a proper go.
In that case, Mr. Brown, I have the very thing for you. How to Make Your Own Movies by Heinz B. Heinkel. He was a very famous old-time Hollywood director. He won many awards for the films he made. Maybe you could end up like Mr. Heinkel and have your name in lights.
I'm going to make a film.
Bear, what are you up to? Why are you taking pictures of my house?
I'm making a film, Mr. Curry. I'm going to win an award.
An award? Is there any prize money?
I think so.
Then you're in luck, Bear. I'm sure you know the importance of finding the right person to play the leading role. Someone you can share the prize money with.
Well, now that you mention it.
Someone with star quality. Handsome, charming, athletic.
Where am I going to find anyone like that?
He might be right under your nose.
Really? You, Mr. Curry?
That's so kind of you to offer, Bear.
I must tell Mrs. Bird. She'll be surprised you're all those things. She's always saying
I don't think that's necessary, Bear. Why don't we surprise her after we've made the film? You just leave everything to me.
I'm ready for you to climb the fence, Mr. Curry.
I'm not simply climbing the fence. I'm chasing the villains who have kidnapped the heroine.
The villains are waiting, Mr. Curry.
Ouch!
Can you move a little to your left, Mr. Curry? Now a whisker to your right. Back half a whisker.
Make up your mind, Bear!
I'm having trouble with your profile, Mr. Curry. Which did you say was your best side? They both look as bad as each... I mean, they both look the same.
How dare you, Bear!
Mr. Curry, I seem to have lost you. As I was saying, Mr. Curry, it's about your profile. I'm ready to throw the bottle with the message in it into the water, Mr. Curry.
Ready, Bear.
Quiet, please. Roll camera. Let's go for a take. I'm beginning to like movie making. That's it. Good, good. Now search to find the bottle.
I can't find it, Bear.
It's just floated into the middle, Mr. Curry. I'm still rolling. You can start acting now, Mr. Curry.
I am acting, Bear.
That's wonderful, Mr. Curry. Wonderful. You can stop acting now, Mr. Curry. Mr. Curry? You'll be happy to know I kept the camera rolling.
Are you sure about this, Bear?
All movies need a big break-in and rescue scene, Mr. Curry.
Bear!
Don't worry, Mr. Curry. I'm not missing any of this. Help! Oh, that cry for help is a nice touch. Mr. Brown was kind enough to lend Mr. Curry an old suit. Well, that's all there is. The book you lent me had a chapter on putting a film together, but I hoped you might help before I tried to win an award.
I think what you have is perfectly suited for a television show I've seen, Mr. Brown.
Really?
Yes, it's called Don't Call Us, We'll Call You.
I'll get it.
I am here for my premiere.
Quick, Mr. Curry, the program's just beginning.
Ah, my public has arrived before me. The star should have the best seat in the house.
Welcome to Don't Call Us, We'll Call You, the program where a star is born every week.
Well, at least they know good acting when they see it.
I've heard about this programme. People from all over the country send in their videos, and they show the best ones.
Exactly. I hope you did a good job editing the tape, Bear.
And tonight, our first entry is submitted by Mr. Paddington Brown and Mr. Reginald Curry of Windsor Gardens.
Thank you. This is a very important moment for me. Acting has always been a strong influence in the Curry family. The dignity of the thespian is sometimes forgotten. But it is nice to be recognized for true talent. Bear! I've been made a fool of on national television.
I thought you'd be happy. The producer said we had a good chance of winning the grand prize for funniest home movie.
Grand prize, you say? And what's that?
The chance to make a sequel.
Sequel, or do you sequel, Bear?
I had just watched an episode of Dick Dale Private Eye on television and learned that a good detective is always on the lookout for suspicious characters. Dick Dale says you have to keep your eyes peeled, then follow the scent. But I had been at it all morning and was still looking for a mystery to solve. After all, what's a detective without a mystery? I hoped that sooner or later something would turn up. But perhaps it was now time to look somewhere else. Dick Dale gets a lot of his cases from the police. They call him in whenever they have a really difficult crime to solve. So I thought I might try my luck at the local police station.
You saw a suspicious character hiding in a dustbin? Short, with a large nose, dressed in a red hat and duffel coat? Oh, yes, madam. We'll get onto it right away. Yes, right away. Good afternoon. Here. Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
My name's Paddington Brown, and I live near here. I was wondering if you have any crimes that need solving.
Crimes?
I could do some undercover work, like Dick Dale. Bears are good at that.
Dick who?
You've never heard of Dick Dale, Private Eye? He's the greatest detective in the world.
Oh, he is he? And I suppose you are Sherlock Holmes. Hey?
The police weren't very cooperative. I was getting pretty discouraged, but then I struck it lucky when a fog rolled in. Everyone knows that the greatest detective cases start in a fog. I made my way up the Portobello Road, just to see what I might run into. Ooh, ow! Oh! That poor lady. She needs help.
Oh, hello there, Frank. How are things in the store?
Not good. We've had a run of thefts lately. We think it might be an inside job, but we can't figure out how they're getting the stuff past our security system.
Officer, you've got to do something. I've just seen a lady being kidnapped.
Hang on a moment. Aren't you that bear who came into the station just now?
Yes, and I saw the whole thing. A man with no hair grabbed her from behind and started shaking her. Then he carried her in there.
In there? That's Kimball's department store. I can assure you, my friend, no one's been kidnapped in there.
Don't pay any attention to him, Frank. He's just seen too many detective shows on television.
Something told me I wasn't getting anywhere. There was nothing for it but to take over the case myself.
Hey, you! Wait a minute!
I had to stay out of sight until I could find out what was going on.
He's short, with a large nose, dressed in a red hat and duffel coat.
There he is.
Sir Lancelot for men?
Excuse me?
It's cologne. Try some. Aha! Methinks it is lunchtime. It gets a bit hot in here.
I needed a disguise. Something to make me inconspicuous as I looked for the man with no hair. Sir Lancelot for men?
Hey?
My disguise paid off. I finally spotted the kidnapper. But now that I'd found him, I needed to get some evidence.
Hey, come back here. Stop, thief!
It's him. Spread out.
Oh. Oh!
What are you doing there?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Give me that camera.
Sir Lancelot for men?
Hey!
All right, the game's up.
Wait, you have to look at this.
I know that man. He works on the mannequins and dress dummies.
There she is. That's the lady he grabbed in the alley.
That's no lady. That's a dummy.
A dummy?
Here, what's this?
Oh! So, that's how he smuggled the goods out of the store, inside this dummy. Incredible!
But what about the man with no hair?
I'm afraid he's probably long gone by now. What is it?
It's him.
How did you know it was him?
Simple. Sir Lancelot for men.
I underestimated you, my friend. How did you ever get to be such a good detective?
I did what Dick Dale does. I kept my eyes peeled. Then I simply followed the scent. Bears do it all the time.
That's it, Paddington. Move the ears to the left and stop right there.
Really, Henry? We must do something about this television. It's on its last legs.
So am I.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to have someone take a look at it. No point throwing out a perfectly good TV.
And in newsworthy notables, people should be aware of a prowler, Hairy Harry, who has a taste for sandwiches.
This sounds very familiar to me.
I may be hairy, Mrs. Bird, but I'm not a Harry.
After robbing his victims, Hairy Harry makes a sandwich using ingredients from the pantry.
I think I'd better hide my jars of marmalade, just in case Hairy Harry pays us a visit. Now, where's a safe place? I know. Better safe than sorry.
Eating 18 jars of marmalade? What were you thinking?
I saved one jar in case I get hungry while you're out, Mrs. Bird.
I should try and get a bit of sleep, dear. We'll be back soon.
At last! I thought they would never go.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Curry.
Good day, Bear. I was wondering if I might watch your television. A program will start in a bit that I rather want to see.
I'm sure Mr. Brown wouldn't mind. He's always saying that you might as well live here for all the things you borrow.
Yes, well... What? How dare he say that about me?
I'm afraid the picture isn't very good. Perhaps you wouldn't mind keeping the sound down. I'm trying to sleep.
Keep the sound down, indeed. It's even worse than the picture.
You must be Mr. Brown. I'm here to fix your television and install the new aerial.
Ah, well...
It's lucky, really. I had a cancellation. Was able to fit you in today instead of tomorrow.
Yes, very lucky. Right this way. Here we are. It's crying out for some help.
Ah, I know this model very well. Very well indeed. They're very tricky, Mr. Brown. Very tricky.
Yes, well, do you think if I lend a hand, it could be done more quickly?
2 pairs of hands are better than one, I always say. Let's be at it. I think we found the problem, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown?
Oh, pardon me. You were saying?
It's this tube. But let's install the aerial first. With a bit of help, it shouldn't take long.
It's not long now before my program starts. We ought to have a perfect picture by then.
What's that noise? Oh, there's someone up there. But who? It can't be. A prowler? Hairy Harry!
You're a big help, Mr. Brown. I wish there were more people in the world like you. Mr. Brown?
Ah, yes! Helpful Mr. Brown. Ah, that's me. But let's hurry, shall we?
A prowler. Perhaps it is Hairy Harry. And he's got a partner in crime. That'll teach you. You won't get out of there in a hurry. Time to get reinforcements. Help! Police! It's about Hairy Harry. He's at 32 Windsor Gardens. No, he won't get away. I've locked him in.
Oi! Open up! What is all this?
Suddenly, I'm feeling much better. I'd say it's time for a sandwich to celebrate.
Do you know how to get out of your own attic, Mr. Brown?
No. I mean, yes. I mean, this door has always been tricky.
Oh, dear. It looks like Mr. Curry didn't like his program. I better see if I can fix this before the Browns get home. Uh-oh.
Mr. Brown? Yes, officer. What seems to be the problem? We had a report that Hairy Harry the Prowler is in your house.
What? You're certain? Aha! See this? Hairy Harry's calling card. He's here all right.
But where?
Help! Let us out! Someone let us out!
Oh, dear. I hope Paddington is all right.
Well, then look! Someone's coming!
At last!
You there! Now, don't try to escape. Now, come on down and don't try anything funny.
After you.
You can't be hairy, Harry. You aren't very hairy.
I'm not. I'm a TV repairman.
And you are?
I'm the next door neighbour.
You said you were Mr. Brown.
You mean there are two Mr. Browns?
Yes. I mean, no.
Well, what do you mean?
Mr. Brown, could you come here and sort this out?
I wasn't expecting you today.
There was a cancellation.
Curry, what are you doing here?
All I wanted to do was watch my program, and now I've missed it. This was all that bear's fault.
If this sandwich doesn't belong to Hairy Harry, then I'd like to know whose it is.
I think it may belong to Paddington, but he's upstairs in bed.
Blimey, look at that. There's something funny inside your telly. It's...
Hairy Harry! No, he's in the attic.
Mr. Curry, it's Jones the Builder. I brought the bill. I know you're in there, Mr. Curry. I can hear you shuffling about. Excuse me. Do you know if Mr. Curry's home? I brought the bill for mending his broken window.
Then I expect Mr. Curry's hiding. He does that when he hears the word bill.
Well, we'll see about that. I'll have some friends pay him a call. They'll soon winkle him out.
He's gone. With any luck, he won't be back.
He said he was sending some friends over to winkle you out, Mr. Curry.
Winkle me out? Look here, Bear. I need help. Stay here, and if anyone strange calls, say I'm away.
But I can't do that.
Oh, yes, you can. After all, who broke the window in the first place?
You did, Mr. Curry, when you slammed the front door the other day.
And why did I slam the door? Because you got marmalade on my knocker. So make sure you don't let anyone in while I'm gone.
Have some tomatoes.
Let's pull in there and hide.
Uh-oh. That must be the builder's friends.
It worked. We gave them the slip.
But they'll be looking for us now.
Hello. I'm Paddington, Mr. Curry's neighbour. He isn't here right now, and,
The house is empty. Why, Fred? It's perfect.
Perfectly bad luck, you mean? We're Mr. Curry's distant cousins.
How nice. Do come in. This is the sitting room. Here, you sit down and make yourselves comfortable. I'll go make some tea.
Did you say comfortable?
Mustn't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Ow! Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me help you.
No! Oh, I've never seen such junk.
If you remember, Mr. Curry keeps all his best furniture locked away in the cellar, along with his valuables.
Of course. Yeah, we'd forgotten.
I'll go make the tea now.
If we could get rid of that bear, we could clean out this house in a jiffy. Excuse me, we were wondering if you'd run down to the shops for us. We'd go ourselves, but we don't want to miss Cousin Murray.
Murray? Don't you mean Curry?
Oh, of course. Silly me.
If you'll take this, I'll find some paper and make a list.
Oh, that's hot!
Here, let me help you. Then perhaps I'll go down to the shops now. What did you want?
Bandages.
Painkillers.
These two men escaped from jail just a few hours ago. The Commissioner's offering a big reward for their arrest. Call us if you see them.
Someone's been having a bad day, haven't they?
After we sell all this stuff, we should have enough cash to retire.
Just as long as we put enough miles between us and that bear.
Oh no! They must have got tired of waiting. Wait!
Hold up. I forgot to close the back doors.
It's all right. I'll do it.
We thought we might take a little trip around London while we wait.
Really? I love trips. What a good thing I got back in time. What a coincidence. Mr. Curry has a candlestick just like this. Whoops! Look out! Oh dear. I think I'm in trouble again.
We want to go back to jail!
It's those escaped prisoners.
Hurry! Arrest us! We won't try to escape. Just get us away from that bear!
Hello.
I'm willing to bet the bear got rid of that builder and his friends. What's happened to my chair? Bear! That bear must have let them in. They've destroyed the place. My valuables! I've been winkled! They've taken everything! Wait till I get my hands on that bear! There you are! I've been robbed of all my valuables! And it's all your fault!
Here, wait a minute, sir. If it wasn't for this young bear, we wouldn't have nabbed two escaped prisoners and recovered your stolen goods.
Indeed, you should be thanking him. I have no hesitation in handing over the reward to you, Mr. Paddington Brown.
We did it, Bear. We caught those criminals.
But Mr. Curry...
A brilliant idea. And
well, seeing you are both responsible for the capture, we'll give you half each.
Thank you very much.
Ah, Mr. Jones. Just the man I was looking for. Here. This should cover the repair bill. Everything's settled.
Not quite, Mr. Curry. You still have to take your valuables inside.
How am I going to do that?
Maybe Mr. Jones's friends can help you.
Fine. But this is all your fault, Bear. And I won't forget it. Oh, that bear drives me mad. Money this, money that. Oh, I'll get him one day. I'll get him one day.
There's nothing in the world like a breath of fresh mountain air.
Especially Yukon mountain air, Mr. Gruber. I hope we find lots of ideas for your book, The World and Its Wonders, up here in the far north.
I believe we will. That's Dawson City down there. It's a large part of Canadian history.
It doesn't look very large from here, Mr. Gruber. What's it famous for?
I wonder if you can guess.
Dirty dishes?
No, Mr. Brown. Miners used dishes like this to pan for gold in the great Klondike Gold Rush.
Gold? There's gold here.
The saying at the time was, "Yee-haw! There's gold in these here hills." You could hear the cries of those who struck lucky many miles away.
Looking for gold, boys?
I've got my dish. All I need to know is where to start.
Be my guest, fellers, at the Old Nugget Bonanza.
3 passes. That's very kind of you, Mr.
Cornelius McGee. But you can call me Corny. I'd be mighty proud if you boys strike it rich on my claim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Corncob. Mrs. Bird often says I'm worth my weight in gold. There it is. Nugget Bonanza. Mr. Gruber and I would like to take advantage of your free offer, Mr. Corncob.
Yes, perhaps you could show us a good place to pan for gold.
Pan for gold, you say? Sorry, fellas. These here tickets just get you through the gate. Panning's extra.
Extra? I thought you said it would be free.
Panning rights. It's $3 a piece. Then there's creek access. That's another $4 each.
Creek access?
You betcha. Creeks don't come cheap, you know. Oh, and park insurance at $3.50. But free for you fellas today.
What am I doing wrong? I fill it with mud, I add river water, I rinse it out. But I don't see any gold.
Gold is heavier than dirt. If there were any here, Mr. Brown, it would stick to the bottom of our dishes.
Oh, panning is hard work, Mr. Gruber. Would you like a toffee?
Ah, something for my sweet tooth. Oh! Which seems to have cracked and fallen out. I shall have to find a dentist to make me a temporary filling. Wait here, I'll be as quick as possible.
Don't worry, I'll pan for two. Maybe I can find enough gold to pay for your trip to the dentist.
And how exactly did you lose the tooth, Mr. Gruber?
Well,
I see. Well, one should be careful when eating toffee. Now, tell me, what brings you to Dawson City?
I wish, be shining in my dish. Yeah! There's gold and there's here hills. Yahoo!
What in tarnation? Why, it's that bear fella's head. Come on, Winifred, let's boogie. Follow that there head. Get, or I'm gonna trade you for a dog sled. Get.
I've struck gold, Mr. Corncob. Look!
I can't believe it. You one lucky possum bear. You must have horseshoes in your hat.
No, just a marmalade sandwich.
You and I know that itty-bitty gold there was just a lucky find. There's no more gold, that's for sure. But there may be a way to sell a few tickets in this. Thing is, how to get the word out. I got me a plan.
How big was the nugget?
Nugget? It was more like a chunk. Remember, it's a secret, little missy.
How big?
A rock! But remember, it's a secret.
Some dude found a boulder of gold at the Nugget Bonanza.
They found gold! They found gold!
It's what I call pay dirt.
But this is only a temporary until you get home to your own dentist.
They're saying some bear has struck the mother lode.
A bear? That would be Mr. Brown.
I'm closing early today. I've got me some gold to look for.
Wait for me.
Wait! You have to pay! Stop! Hey, come back here! Wow! I just landed that tree!
What is going on, Mr. Brown?
At first I thought I struck it rich, but then the park got busy and I haven't found any more gold.
You did find gold? My gold tooth! Oh, thank you, Mr. Brown. Now I can have it put back. Splendid.
A gold tooth?
Did you say a gold tooth? I got me a park full of lunatics digging up all creation 'cause you found a tooth?
It isn't just any old tooth. It belongs to my friend, Mr. Gruber.
Here, fellas, I'm refunding what you paid me.
Thank you, Mr. Corncob.
Go on, get! You can stop digging now. There was only a tooth. There's no gold in them hills.
Cornelius wants all the gold for himself. I say no way, man.
Not you too, Winifred.
Mr. Cornelius!
No! Get away! Just leave me be!
It's midnight, and it's Sonny.
This just in, a new Klondike gold rush is underway. Thousands are streaming to Dawson City in the Yukon in a bid for instant riches.
Another gold rush? I wonder what started it, Mr. Gruber.
I have a theory, Mr. Brown, but silence, too, is golden.
In Hollywood, there's a place where all the famous film stars leave their footprints in wet cement. But I don't suppose they've had many paw prints. Of course, the movie stars usually have special permission.
What? Marmalade?
Mr. Gruber and I were in Hollywood to research the next chapter of his book, The World and Its Wonders.
Look, Mr. Brown. It's a map showing where all the movie stars live.
They must enjoy getting lots of visitors to put their houses on a map. Oh, I'm afraid my cement has dried, Mr. Gruber. Hollywood is all about making movies, so we decided to take a tour of a studio. And I couldn't believe my eyes. It was like traveling all over the world in just a few minutes. For free.
Huh? Hey, buddy, we're trying to shoot a picture here.
Pardon? Oh, pardon me.
And action.
All right, who's next?
Excuse me, I'm looking for the...
Yeah, come on, we haven't got all day. This way. All right, read this. It's the role of bystander number 3. It's a small but vitally important part. I want you to give it everything you've got, okay?
And action.
Look out! He's over here! I mean, there! He's over there!
We've heard enough, thank you.
Wait! You're some kind of bear, aren't you? You got claws.
Of course.
This is incredible! He's perfect for the part of the villain in this picture. An evil, mad scientist known only as the Claw.
Mr. Brown, there you are. I was getting worried.
Are you his agent?
I'm his friend.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Look, I want him to be in my movie. This is my offer. Take it or leave it.
We'll take it. And so began my career as an actor.
Okay, now in this scene, you've got the hero trapped. Your line is, "Give me the access code or you're doomed." You got it?
Shouldn't I say please?
No! You're a criminal mastermind, an evil genius bent on world domination.
Well, that's no excuse for being rude. Aunt Lucy taught me to always be polite.
And Mr. Brown is just that.
Whatever. All right. In this scene, you and the hero are playing for high stakes. Do you know anything about card games?
Of course I do.
Revenge of the Claw, scene 12, take 1.
And action.
Oh! Do you have any queens?
Cut! For the last time, you're not playing fish. You are playing poker 5-card draw. Understand? You've got your motivation?
I think so.
The Revenge of the Claw, scene 12, take 32.
And action.
Hold it!
What now?
There's some kind of smudge on the lens. It looks like marmalade.
Who's been eating marmalade on my set?
Uh-oh. Being an actor is harder than I thought, Mr. Gruber.
Being a director seems to be even worse, Mr. Brown.
You see that man over there in the expensive-looking suit? He owns the studio. He came down here today because for some reason he's under the impression that this production is not going well. So let's try to leave a good impression, okay?
My Aunt Lucy.
I know. She taught you to always leave a good impression. Action.
Well, Agent Malone, I believe the time has come.
You fiend. You'll never get away with this.
Nothing can stop me now. I think I'm in trouble again.
That's it! I want you out of here! You're fired!
Just a minute. What's your name, young fellow?
Paddington, sir. Paddington Brown. I'm sorry about your set.
Details. But you know something? You're just what this studio needs, isn't he?
Right. Absolutely right. That's just what I've been saying.
It's a night of glitz and glamour as the stars come out for the London premiere of the latest Hollywood blockbuster, The Revenge of the Claw.
You must have a really big part, Paddington.
They'll see, won't they, Mr. Brown?
They certainly did see. I had become the new logo for the movie company.
A logo? But why?
They said I had great merchandising potential. Free demonstrations. Those are two of my favorite words. Can I go and see the demonstrations while you do your shopping, Mrs. Bird?
I don't see why not. But mind you don't get into any trouble.
Me? Get into trouble? I don't see how you can get into trouble in a bargain basement.
If anyone can, it's a certain young bear I know. And don't go spending all of your money either.
Don't worry. Bears are good at finding bargains.
I'll come and fetch you when my shopping's done.
Stress got you down. The Stress Away Miracle Mask promises hours of stress-free relaxation. Just put it on, close your eyes, and drift away to paradise. Ah, just what I need, a volunteer. One size fits all.
This reminds me of Pin the Tail on the Donkey. I hope everyone knows how to play.
Yes, hold on there. What do you think you're doing?
Hey, how am I supposed to pin the tail on if you won't keep still? I think I may get Judy one of these masks for her next birthday party.
This amazing slicer dicer makes perfect potato chips every time.
Those blades look awfully sharp. Is it safe?
Madam, it's so safe a child could use it. Or even a bear. You, sir, would you mind showing this lady how it's done?
Certainly.
Oh, you see? Oh, it's wonderful. If this inexperienced bear can use it, oh, imagine what you can do.
Oh.
You're a natural. Ever consider joining the trade?
Mrs. Bird always says bears drive a hard bargain.
Ah, my parcel. It's been shredded.
Actually, it's been squashed. That's certainly a bargain. A slicer dicer that also shreds and squashes. It not only looks good, it tastes good.
Only one application of instant one-dab cleaning fluid, and this old carpet looks like new. Developed in space, used by astronauts. There's nothing on Earth that can't be improved by instant one-dab cleaning fluid.
Mrs. Bird is always complaining about marmalade stains.
Take this filthy old piece of felt.
Filthy old piece of felt?
Most of you would have thrown it away, but one dab of my cleaning fluid will make it like new.
Hold on, that's my hat you've got.
Oh, I didn't realise anyone was wearing it. I thought it was one of my old scraps.
Old scraps?
Well, now that I have it, perhaps you'd like me to get rid of your stains.
Get rid of my stains? I'll have you know it's taken me a long time to collect these stains. Some of them have been handed down.
You can't hand a stain down.
Bears do. This one was made by my uncle in Peru. Remove my stains, indeed. I don't know what my uncle would say if he knew. That smells like something cooking.
How many times have you ruined your fried egg in the morning because it's stuck to the pan? Well, just watch this. Buy one of my magic non-stick fry pans and nothing, I repeat, nothing, will stick ever again.
Nothing at all?
You don't believe me? I tell you what, sir, why don't you have a go?
That certainly didn't stick. To the pan.
What did I tell you? Nothing sticks.
Excuse me, I haven't finished.
Oh! Now do you believe me?
I haven't tried a pancake yet.
Here, what have you done with my pancake?
What have I done with it?
That was my demonstration pancake.
You did say it was a magic fry pan. Perhaps you didn't use enough batter. Ah.
Look at my coat! I demand to see the sales manager!
Sales manager to the bargain basement. Right away, please.
Sounds like there's trouble down below. Trouble? Paddington! Mercy me! Where has that bear got to?
I think I've had enough bargains for one day.
Am I correct, sir, in believing you are responsible for all this commotion?
Now, you can't go blaming that bear. I'm sure he was only trying to help.
Blame? I'm here to offer my congratulations. Thanks to his efforts with the pancakes, we've sold our entire stock of one-dab stain remover.
Oh, dear. I was hoping to get some for you, Mrs. Bird.
Since he demonstrated that nothing sticks to our magic fry pans, they've been selling like hotcakes. And because of the panic he caused, our stress-away miracle masks sold out in minutes. Oh, he's a marketing genius. I have only one question. Any ideas how to move our slicer dicers?
They'd be very handy for making marmalade.
The chunks are the worst part.
Seeing as you've been so helpful, I'd like you to have free samples of all our new products.
The pancake. Why don't you try some of the one-dab stain remover? It's a real bargain. Mr. Gruber and I were visiting the Great Wall of China for his book, The World and Its Wonders. China is also the home of fireworks, kites and dragons. So I really shouldn't have been too surprised to find myself saving a dragon from a high place.
Oh, do be careful, Mr. Brown. What are you doing? Don't move.
Mr. Gruber.
It's a good thing Mrs. Bird lent you her umbrella.
She did say it might come in useful. Look, Mr. Gruber. I broke the dragon.
They're circus performers, Mr. Brown.
Excellent! Wonderful! That's just what a high-wire dragon act needs. A spectacular finish. My name is Sha Jiju, and this is my traveling circus.
I am Mr. Gruber, and this is Mr. Brown. We came to watch the show after visiting the Great Wall. Neither of us have ever seen a Chinese circus before.
Sadly, that is the same with many people. As the weeks pass, the crowds grow smaller and our circus grows poorer. But now a gifted performer is among us.
Oh, yes? Where?
The bear!
Bears are good at performing, Mrs. Jiju.
Perhaps I may ask you to come tomorrow and find more ways to improve our circus, like with the Dragon Act.
They don't seem very happy with our improvement.
What do you say, Mr. Brown? Our circus experience would be a nice addition to my book, The World and Its Wonders.
I think I shall like being in a circus, Mr. Gruber. I wasn't sure what Mrs. Jiju was worried about. The plate spinner didn't need any help, and I couldn't think of any way to improve the balancing act. But I wanted to do a good job for Mrs. Jiju, so I decided to take a seat and watch the show. I'm sorry. I seem to have taken your seat.
I think Sha Jiju wanted us to observe, Mr. Brown, not perform. But that was a very good trick.
Coming up with ideas was proving to be very difficult. Even if Mrs. Bird says I get too many ideas for my own good. Here, let me help.
Mr. Brown! I think you'd better get down.
I only wish I could.
Come back, Mr. Brown, come back. Turn around, Mr. Brown, turn around.
Brilliant!
Oh dear. I don't think we're doing very well, Mr. Gruber.
Perhaps tomorrow, Mr. Brown. Now, I wonder where we should start today.
I have the feeling some performers would like us to start at the beginning, Mr. Gruber, before we'd even left London.
Oh, he's very good.
I'm sure he doesn't want our help.
Mr. Brown, I'm afraid I need some assistance.
So do I, Mr. Gruber.
Oh, goodness. This is most undignified.
So is this, Mr. Gruber.
We haven't come up with a single idea, Mr. Brown.
Mrs. Bird would be very disappointed.
There you are. I've been looking all over for you. I want to thank you for all your wonderful ideas.
Our ideas?
What ideas?
You see? We haven't had a crowd this big in months. Now hurry and get into costume. You'll be on soon.
On? I hope my stint in the barrel went unnoticed. I don't think I should like to repeat that performance.
And the cyclist wasn't very pleased about having fur in his eyes.
Hurry, follow me.
Shouldn't we rehearse first? Oh, that was invigorating.
Well done, Mr. Gruber. He seemed to like our ideas, Mr. Gruber, but what'll we do for an encore?
Perhaps we can try getting down. You know, Mr. Brown, they do say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But I think we learned a few while we were in China.
We certainly did, Mr. Gruber. But home is where you hang your hat.
And practice makes perfect. Are you ready?
Ready, Mr. Gruber.
Alley-oop!